So recently in my hidden video game detail series, I've been featuring some of the cool secrets found in the Eggcellent LEGO games. And well, it turns out there are loads of hidden details in LEGO games. In fact, there are so many that they warrant a video all to themselves. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at 20 Easter eggs, secrets, references, and hidden details in the LEGO video games, but with more of an emphasis on those details. Now, some of these details will have featured in the hidden detail series, but there is plenty of new stuff here too. As always, if you think you know of a hidden detail from a LEGO game that I've missed, then please let me know in the comment section or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Oh, and leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing really helps the channel out a lot. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So to keep things in some sort of order, let's tackle these games in the order they released in, starting with LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Releasing in 2007, LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga spans the first 6 episodes of the Star Wars universe, with almost all of the characters from those films making an appearance too. Now, most of those characters are playable, but some of them, including the Cantina Band, are background characters, you know, to make the game feel that little bit more Star Warsy. Well, just because the Cantina Band are background characters, that doesn't mean that they can't be affected by your choices. When you first enter the bar area, you can see the band are having a great time performing to, well, no one actually, but that's not the point, they're having fun. Well, if you decide to end the Cantina Band's fun, first of all, you're a monster, but second of all, you can. Simply turn off the in-game music and the band will be left very confused. So since you've turned off the music, the band have nothing to play, leaving them looking a little lost. The other details from the Complete Saga are my favourite type of LEGO game detail: the secret interactions between characters. First up is what happens when you try to attack Princess Leia when playing as Lando Calrissian. So instead of attacking Leia, Lando will grab her hand before giving it a kiss. This is probably a reference to Star Wars Episode 5 The Empire Strikes Back, where Lando does the same thing. The final detail from the Complete Saga can be seen when playing as Darth Vader. Now, one of Vader's most iconic moves is the Force Choke, lifting opponents into the air by their throats with the power of the Force. It's his signature move, and of course something that can be done in the Complete Saga. However, there is one character that Vader isn't able to force choke, and that is Padme. Padme was once the lover of Anakin Skywalker, who would of course go on to become Darth Vader. With that in mind, it makes sense that Anakin/Darth wouldn't want to hurt Padme. So we've already seen one LEGO character put the moves on someone of the opposite sex, and our next detail features something very similar. LEGO Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures released in 2008, and saw you take on the role of Indy in a game that follows the plot of the first 3 Indiana Jones movies. Now, unlike the Lando Leia kiss, Indy's attempts at flirtation are much harder to pull off. So Indy will whip his female accomplice in close before giving her a smooch. The reason this is hard to pull off is because it's so damn difficult to actually connect with the whip in the first place, but if you are able to reel your partner in, your digital LEGO Indy will be rewarded with a kiss. The next LEGO game that requires our attention is LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 to 4. As you could probably tell from the title, Years 1 to 4 tells the story of the first 4 Harry Potter movies and was released for all major platforms in 2010. Now, the detail from LEGO Harry is one of my favourite details in this entire video. But first of all, let me ask you, do you know what a boggart is? Well, if you don't, a boggart is a shape-shifting non-being that takes the form of its observer's worst fear. Now, for most characters in LEGO Harry Potter, this fear manifests itself as Voldemort, which obviously makes sense. Ron's is a spider, just like it is in the movies, and you can even give it roller skates. There is one character though that has a really surprising fear. If you play as Tom Riddle, you can see that his worst fear is this. So Tom's worst fear is Harry Potter himself. This is because Tom Riddle grew up to be Lord Voldemort, and we all know how things ended between Harry and he who shall not be named, even though I've named him already. Right, it's time to fast forward to 2013 now with the excellent LEGO Marvel superheroes. Oh, and just so you know, between 2011 and 2012, there were 5 LEGO games released that aren't featuring in this video, including LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean and LEGO Batman 2. So if you know of anything cool from those games, please let me know. Anyway, LEGO Marvel Superheroes released in 2013 and saw the Marvel superheroes team up to take down Doctor Doom and Loki. LEGO Marvel Superheroes is widely considered to be the best LEGO game in the series, and for good reason. Not only is it a great LEGO game, it's full of really cool examples of attention to detail. The first of these details can be seen on the rock up at the lockup level. This mission sees you taking on a variety of different villains, including Leader. Well, if you approach Leader whilst playing as Bruce Banner, he will say this.
Bruce Banner? Where's your pathetic green friend? Coming out to play?
Oh, he does not want to see me angry.
And if you enter the boss battle while playing as Bruce's alter ego the Hulk, he will instead say this.
Hulk? You brainless, babbling beast! Now I am finally free to destroy you!
Leader is enemy! Hulk smash, big head!
So it's really cool that Leader will change his dialogue depending on who you fight him as. It's certainly not something you'd expect to find in a LEGO game. Now, the LEGO games are often called easy. And whilst that is kind of true, did you know there are some characters that can make the LEGO games even easier? Take Wolverine for example. When his health reaches 0, this happens. So instead of dying, Wolverine is stripped down to his adamantium skeleton. The same thing happens to Deadpool when his hearts are depleted.
Sometimes I wish I had regenerating abilities, like you.
And finally, the other invincible character is the legendary Stan Lee. Also, I noticed that if you walk when playing as Stan, he will hold his hip, which is also a really nice touch. The next character with secrets to hide is Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. Now, one of Johnny's signature powers is the ability to flame on and turn himself into a literal human torch. Well, if you flame on around ice, this will happen. Flame on! So Johnny generates so much heat that he will melt any ice that he stands near. I mean, it makes sense, but it is still cool. It's not just the ice that should be scared of Johnny's fire controlling powers. For example, here is Johnny standing next to Venom and the two of them seem to be getting along just fine. However, if you flame on, Venom will do this. So one of the symbiote's weaknesses is fire, so it makes sense that it backs up when Johnny heats up. As I said, I love these details in LEGO games. The penultimate LEGO superheroes detail can be seen when playing as the giant metal man, Colossus. Now, Colossus is a big man, with even bigger arms, so when it comes to attacking things, he generally uses those massive metal arms to deal some pretty big damage. Well, if you try to attack Wolverine with those aforementioned arms, Colossus does this. So instead of punching him, Colossus will perform a unique animation and throw Wolverine, something that he's done multiple times in comics and movies.
Throw me. Now!
Damn it, Logan, don't do this!
So the final detail from LEGO Superheroes can be found at the Statue of Liberty. If you fly to the statue and wait long enough, the statue will do this. so the statue will flash a cheeky wink before returning to its normal pose. I said it in my hidden detail series and I'll say it here. I'll let you guys decide how that wink makes you feel. This next LEGO game was one of the first games to ever feature on my channel. LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham was released in 2014 and sees the DC universe head into space to take on Brainiac. Now this detail is one that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, but it is still really cool. If you head to the character select screen and hover over a character, eventually this will happen.
Na 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 me.
Na 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 Robin!
No 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 Alfred.
Nana 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 John Jones.
No 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 Super Me. Na 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 Killer Croc.
So the characters will sing their own version of the Batman theme song. It's probably the funniest detail in the entire video. Right, it's time for another small jump in time now as we head to 2016 and LEGO Marvel Avengers. Now, unlike LEGO Marvel Superheroes, LEGO Avengers actually follows the plot of various MCU movies, including Iron Man, Captain America Winter Soldier, and Avengers Age of Ultron. Well, the detail from LEGO Avengers can actually be seen after completing the Age of Ultron part of the game. Just like the Marvel movies, the end of the in-game Age of Ultron has an end credits scene. So in this scene, we learn that Stan Lee is worthy enough to wield Thor's hammer Mjolnir. I mean, he did create the majority of the Marvel universe, so I guess it does make sense. The other detail from LEGO Avengers is another really good one. Lou Ferrigno portrayed the Hulk in the 70s Hulk TV show, which was made at a time when special effects weren't all that special. Well, Lou is playable in LEGO Avengers and has a very unique way of transforming himself into the Hulk. First, here is how the MCU Bruce Banner transforms into the Hulk. And here is how Lou turns into the Hulk. So Lou will spray himself with green paint to become the Hulk, before using the services of Stan Lee to wash the paint off and turn him back into Bruce Banner. It's a great example of the LEGO game's awesome sense of humour. Next up is another Marvel-themed LEGO game. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 was released in 2017, and pretty much saw the same cast from the original LEGO Superheroes Return, well minus the X-Men due to licensing issues. Now, despite this LEGO Marvel game not being based on the MCU, there is a really cheeky nod to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that can be heard in an early cutscene. During a party, Captain Marvel can be heard saying this.
You can rely on the Avengers to host a great victory rap party.
A great job they did on Loki.
The brie is fantastic.
So Captain Marvel will comment on how the brie is fantastic. Now, whilst it may seem like she's simply complimenting a nice piece of cheese, this is instead a reference to the fact that actress Brie Larson had been cast to play Captain Marvel in the MCU. It's probably more of an Easter egg than a hidden detail, but it's still great. The other Superheroes 2 detail has already been seen in this video, and for some reason that game did it better. Once again, if you fly to the Statue of Liberty, this will happen. So I don't know if it's just me, but this wink isn't as impressive as 2013's LEGO Superheroes game. I don't know what it is, perhaps it's the fact that the head actually moves in the original, but for me, this looks worse than it did before. So the final detail for today's video comes from LEGO Incredibles. Releasing in 2018, the LEGO Incredibles game closely follows the plot of both the Incredibles 1 and Incredibles 2 movies. Now, you may be wondering how a roster featuring just Incredibles characters compares to the likes of Star Wars and Marvel. I mean, both of those properties have decades of characters to use in their games, and The Incredibles simply doesn't. Well, The Incredibles Incredibles actually features characters from the other Pixar properties, like Woody from Toy Story and Flick from A Bug's Life. What's cool is there are a total of 113 characters in LEGO Incredibles. That 113 characters is significant because it's a reference to room A113, the same room where a lot of Pixar employees learnt their craft at the California Institute of Arts. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but I personally don't think it is. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated and helps out a ton. If you know of anything that I've missed in this video, then please let me know in the comments down below or on my social media accounts. Remember, if you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.